Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Collectors with Cards Drinking Coffee. Today we have another great guest, as they all are. Someone that I've had the pleasure of hanging out with in person and doing a fun little cash deal at one point. We'll talk about that, but somebody that has a very unique collection, a very unique story, really, and what seems to be a unique up and coming story that we'll talk about. I got my good friend Nick, old school Pokemon, here on Instagram and YouTube. Old school Pokemon's one of the OG collectors here, and I am looking forward to this conversation. How are you doing, man?
Hey, John. Nice to finally sit down and talk to you.
Yeah,
I'm doing real good. Excited for this little podcast.
good. Well, happy New Year, happy holidays. For those that don't know you, I guess your general work life is quite different than most of us, at least, coming up till now. You want to talk a little bit about that, talk a little bit about yourself to start, and then we'll dive into your childhood a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So right now, my full time job is working on a cargo ship. So I'll fly from my house to the ship, join the ship for usually 3-4 months, something like that. This past trip, I joined my ship in mid June and stayed on till almost Thanksgiving. So that was about 5.5, 6 months right there, which is way too long. But I'll do that for usually about 3-4 months. Come home for that same 3-4 months and not have
Mm.
to worry about work at all. So that's when I get on eBay and start selling Pokemon cards and wheeling and dealing with all that stuff.
Yeah,
So
that's gotta be a little tough. I mean, to just have to cut off completely from doing Pokemon really for those few months to be completely focused on work and doing that. Not only, I mean, you're kind of forced to, obviously. You don't have access to all your stuff to ship and sell and buy and all that, but uh, I, I guess in some ways it can be nice where you're able to do that, to cut it off completely and have that mind shift. But
yeah,
I guess,
it used
yeah.
it yeah used to be a nice little break.
Hmm.
Do eBay and then kind of cut shut everything down and get a nice little break from packaging every day and all that stuff. But I used to be able to put my eBay store in vacation mode, and then when
Hmm.
I got back, just reopen it and start from where I left off. But this past trip where everything just exploded in price while I was away, I really couldn't do that.
Hmm.
So I remember I had a ton of first edition base set commons and uncommons listed for like $10 a piece. So reopened, everything would sell out immediately.
Right.
So I um, ended all my listings, and I've been going through everything, seeing what I want to send off to PSA, what I actually want to sell, and adjusting the prices on everything. So this getting back home this time has definitely been a lot tougher getting everything back.
But I mean that's a good thing. It seems like, or I would hope so. So let's go back a little bit to how we met. We first met in person at this recent Worlds, 2019. Uh, the most recent, I guess. I wish we could have said we hung out at 2020, but
Did
2019 Worlds at Washington D.C. Um, of course, the whole E4 meetup we hung out at. Um, but the really cool part of our story is we kind of had the big cash deal happening in Gem Pokemon's hotel room uh, that one night, where I think it was a base set box. Yeah, one of my base set boxes. I was trying to like sell it throughout the whole weekend because it was the one that I brought to sell. I had other ones for people like already paid for and everything, but this was one I bought trying to sell. And no one was really like picking up on it. I was carrying it around everywhere. It was a little stressful, but we sat down at Zach's like one of his tables in his room, and you were sitting right next to me. You're like, "Is that for sale?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then everyone had their eyes on us, and while we were trying to negotiate a deal, um, what'd you end up paying for that?
I was going to ask you the same thing. It was either 45 or
Some
4600.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was a mint. It was a beautiful mint base set box that I had from a case. And yeah, we were just in the middle of hanging out and we were going through stuff and I pulled it out and you're like, I got cash. Let's make this happen. And right there, just That was a pretty cool story. It's always something that you'll see, I guess, occasionally at these world events, is a deal like that. So, I
Yes.
mean, obviously, you've done very well with that box. You still have it, right?
I actually just recently sold it
Oh,
last week. Yep.
congrats.
Thank you.
How much for?
Yeah. 20,000.
Nice,
I
nice.
actually I had two of them. One I traded with Rusty for,
Hmm.
uh, a gaming, and then I had yours, and then I had an unlimited fossil box,
Hmm.
and I sold all three of them to another collector for 46,000.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That'll be
Yeah.
nice to pick up a few nice collections here.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, hopefully towards a down payment on a house at some point.
Oh, okay, very good. So let's take it back to 1999, Nick. Where were you growing up? What was your Where were you? What part of the U.S. were you buying Pokemon cards?
So I've always lived on the East Coast outside of Boston,
Okay.
Massachusetts. I grew up there, and kind of a little bit different than everyone.
Hmm.
I got into the cards big, but I was never into the video games or the anime
Hmm.
myself. I was just into the cards back then.
Okay. Were you into card games before that? I mean, Magic was a little bit older. Were you into Magic before that, or were you too young for that?
No,
What drove your attention to the cards?
just seeing. So I was in I'm 29 right now. So
Okay.
back in '99, I was in third or fourth grade,
Uh,
and so just seeing everyone at school having the cards. That's really what got me into it. Following along with it with everyone else back at the time. And I really just only collected during that initial hype from base to fossil.
mhm.
I remember getting a Brushfire theme deck for Christmas, and really didn't know much about the cards back then. I was all excited because I thought maybe I'd get a Charizard out of that, but obviously you get the Ninetails.
Yeah.
And then I remember Team Rocket coming out, and me and my mom going to Walmart one night, and me begging my mom to buy me a Team Rocket pack, and she ended up buying it for me.
Mhm.
And I remember opening that pack specifically and seeing all those dark Pokemon, and really wasn't a big fan of that. So
Mm.
I kind of collected from base to fossil, and then got out of it at Team Rocket.
Okay. Yeah,
So really just a little short window there.
yeah, I can see how it can shy people away. I myself, I'm not a big fan of Team Rocket to this day. Um, whatever reason, yeah, it just kind of threw me off. I mean, I like that they went a different route and had angry Pokemon and all that, like or darker looking Pokemon, in a
Yeah,
sense. But yeah, I just didn't. Definitely as a kid, I didn't like it, and now I kind of skip over that and just go straight to the gym sets.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so
Same way.
uh, yeah, the artwork isn't that great in Team Rocket, in my opinion.
No, I'm not a big fan of Team Rocket.
Except for the Charmeleon. I like the Dark Charmeleon. That's one of my favorite
Yeah.
cards, actually. But yeah. um, okay, so uh, short-lived stint of Pokemon. I mean, did you have any brothers or sisters you were doing this with, or friends you were doing this with, or was it just
Just me and my friends. I got
okay?
one younger sister, but she's 7 years younger than me. So
Oh, okay.
she was one or two back when Pokemon first came out. So she
Yeah,
never she really got into it.
I can't imagine being 2 years old. uh, but all right, so once Pokemon stopped, what did you get into? Did you get in any other card games or?
I pretty much went away from cards at that point. Once the initial hype died off, kind of just put all my cards in the closet and forgot about them, and got into video games.
Oh,
Um,
okay,
PlayStation 2.
nice.
Yeah, but I never really got into any other collectibles up until I got back into Pokemon.
Okay, so when was that? What brought you back into Pokemon?
That was another kind of interesting story. So back in 2009, I'm a sophomore in high school, and I don't have any type of part time job, so kind of looking for some extra cash. And at the time, my dad had a coin shop,
Mhm.
and he also sold on eBay. So I knew eBay from my dad because he had been doing that, and so I'm looking around my room one day for stuff that I can sell to make some extra money on. and I stumble upon the old Pokemon cards that I had growing up. And so for whatever reason, I have no idea why, I took those and said, "Hey, maybe I can make a couple bucks on these." So I went to my dad and asked him if he could help me list those cards on eBay, which of course he did. So we listed those as a 99-cent auction.
Hmm.
And at the time, I don't remember anything about Pokemon, so I kind of organized the cards the best I could. I put all the holographic cards together, all the character cards together, so on and so forth. And so we list that item on eBay. It's a 99-cent auction, and I just got instantly hooked on watching the auction to see all the views, see all the watchers,
Hmm.
see all the bids coming in. So we eventually sold that 7 days later for like 20, $25 or something like that. And I was instantly hooked on eBay. So instead of using that money for whatever other thing that I was looking to buy, I took that money and started looking into different things that I could sell on eBay. And I eventually, a couple days later, maybe about a week later after that initial auction, me and my dad are at a his one of his coin wholesalers, and I just go with my dad to spend time with him, look around a bit,
Hmm.
and I see a base set 2-player starter deck display case
Mm.
on the one of the back shelves. And so I ask the owner of the shop how much he's looking to get for that. I tell him the whole story about how I sold my collection on eBay. I'm looking to get into selling on eBay. And to make a long story short, me and my dad end up purchasing that display case for $75. And I go through and open all the theme decks, thinking, still not knowing anything about Pokemon, thinking each theme deck has different cards, and come to the realization that each of those theme decks has the exact same cards, with like 30 of those cards being energies.
Yeah.
But I break them up and sell everything in like smaller lots on eBay auctions, and have just kind of grown my business from that original start. I was never into collecting back then. Back
Okay.
when I 2009 ish,
Okay.
I was more business aspect, and I actually didn't get into collecting until 2016.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's when I started collecting and setting aside some stuff for myself.
Okay, but you were wheeling and dealing Pokemon that entire time. Were there other stuff you were doing as well, or was it just
No,
Pokemon?
it was pretty much all Pokemon.
Oh wow.
I did that from 2009, being a sophomore in high school, all
Uh-huh.
through high school, into college. When I got to like my sophomore junior year of college, got to be a little bit too much for me,
Hmm.
just because going to school during the week, working an actual part-time job on the weekends, really didn't have time to ship orders out. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Where were you? Where were you getting cards? Like, I mean, because that's really early on, right?
oh yeah,
Most people get in 2000 that I've talked to 15, 16,
yeah.
and before that, I mean, I'm sure there was plenty of finds at local game shops, garage sales, all that stuff. So where were you buying cards then?
I was doing a little bit of everything. I was doing flea markets, yard sales. I have one local card store that I would go to, and they had a bunch of Wizards of the Coast product that I'd buy off slowly.
Hmm.
And also eBay. eBay has always been a good, or used to be a good source for me.
Hmm.
Buying 1,000 card collections, breaking them up and selling them individually or in smaller lots like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seemed to, from what watching your YouTube content, that seems to have been your go-to for at least most of the time that I've known you, is buying large collections and piecing it out, which is
Yeah.
in itself, a great way to make money, really, I think, in any card game or really any like resale industry. But it's one of the hardest things to do, I think, like mentally, because it's so much work to piece it out, organize it, just everything, list it. It's so much work, very tedious. But
It work.
but it comes with some pretty great rewards, especially with how Pokemon has been, where you taking that time has allowed things to appreciate to the points that they're at today. Um,
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah, it's done quite well. So the very first thing you started off with was a sealed product. Did you did you look for a lot of other sealed products throughout that time as well? Or did anything cool, like were you cracking open booster boxes or anything like that?
I was so back in the beginning. I really it obviously took me a while to get to know what I was doing. So back
Mm,
in the beginning, I was just looking for anything Pokemon.
okay.
Started out with that sealed display case. I remember like 500,000 card collections.
Hmm.
At my local card shop, I bought bunch of jungle fossil and base set 2 booster boxes
Mm,
that I break open and sell the individual packs. I never really got into opening packs and selling the individual cards out of the packs.
okay. No,
Uh,
no grading.
Back grading probably started 2013, 2014, somewhere around there.
Okay, so you did catch on to that at
Yeah,
a fairly early point as well.
and
Um,
that was my dad because he did the coins, so he
right.
submitted PCGS, which is another subdivision of Collectors Universe, which is where what PSA is a part of. So
Right.
I found out about the grading through him, so I started sending just a few cards here and there, 10, 20 cards into PSA to get graded and then
Mhm.
sell those cards off.
Okay, so
Uh,
yeah, you were selling everything. You weren't building any
but
binder collections. Wow. Okay, interesting.
no,
Um, do you remember at any point? I wonder, like, one of your like biggest years back then on eBay, like how much money you were making.
I forget. It wasn't that much back then. It was
Mhm.
a couple $1,000s here and there, which was great for me at the time, just being in
Right.
high school. But it really wasn't much compared to where I'm at now.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. All of us are. I'd like to ask that question because I talked to Rusty about that TCA, and like when he was first starting, he was really in on it. Early days.
Hmm.
He was just doing 30, like 20, 30, 40 grand or whatever, which is still a lot, but it's yeah, it's just like amazing to see how far it's gone so fast.
Oh
So
yeah.
so you started collecting consciously in 2016. What changed your mind there? Was it? I'm guessing it's because you finally got a job or you have steady income and have money to collect. Was that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
I graduated from I quit eBay in 2014, somewhere around there,
Hmm.
and then I graduated from college in 2015. Got my first job in so I graduated in June, got my first job in August, and I worked up until around Christmas time on one of my cargo ships. And when I got home from that job, I had a bank account full of money. I was off for the next 3 4 months, so I really didn't have anything to do. And being off during the week sounds good at first, but after the first couple weeks, everyone else is working, so you really can't do anything. So I
Hmm.
had to get back into something, get doing something during the week to
Yeah.
keep me busy. So I actually ended up getting right back into Pokemon and started building up a collection, getting back on eBay. And the first collection that I bought for myself was actually it was a near mint reverse hollow legendary collection set for $600.
Wow.
So I still have that one. So that one that's one of my favorites.
Okay. Did you get any of that graded?
No, that's just sitting in the binder.
Yeah.
I have started grading all my. I got all the first edition jungle through Skyridge, and
Okay.
they're all really good condition. So I have started grading some of those cards, and I'll be setting those most of those cards aside.
Okay. So that was kind of the idea first for collecting was doing complete binder sets
Yep, yep.
and mint. I assume. I mean, did you have an eye on like condition? Did you care about that for the binder sets?
It's definitely like my eye for condition has definitely gotten better over the years. What I
Hmm.
what I used to call near mint is probably like excellent now.
Yeah.
But for the most part, my jungle and fossil sets are like excellent near mint. Everything else is pretty much near mint to mint.
Okay. So
So
you started collecting. Was there like was it like you said you started just full on business and were only spying and selling? Did that kind of have the same strategy where you were only collecting, or were you getting it back into eBay and buying and selling stuff to build your collection? Or were you just
yeah,
holding on to everything?
at that point it was buying and selling to just get some extra money,
Okay.
and then also buying for my own collection to set the cards aside. At that point, I wanted to do a first edition base through Skyridge, just binder sets,
Mhm.
like high grade binder sets. But that was really my ultimate goal starting out collecting.
Okay. Um, now, for those that know you, you have I think probably the greatest. I don't know how to word it. Um, you have the number one position in probably the best error card, in my opinion, in the world here. Probably the most established error, at least from the WotC era. The no damage Ninetails. Um, how many of those do you have?
I have 27 of those right now.
27, which is just absurd for those that that know what that card is. Um, how did that happen? Why did that card just gravitate to you? Like, when did you discover that thing?
Well, I discovered it. I discovered it early on, back when I was initially starting out on eBay, maybe 2013, 2014, somewhere around there. And it was something that I always found cool, but it was always too expensive for me to actually justify purchasing for my own collection at that time.
Hmm.
So when I got back into Pokemon in 2016, I started collecting and started looking at those cards more seriously, and I ended up purchasing one raw copy, maybe 2016, 2017, somewhere around there, just for myself, for my own collection, with really never any intentions of getting any more. But
Hmm.
I graded that card through PSA at one point. It came back a 7, and so I put that aside for my own collection. And then I was looking on eBay one day, and I saw like they had someone had like a 2, a 4, a 6 PSA graded copies.
Hmm.
Got to thinking to myself, it'd be cool to build like a 1 through 9 set of these cards. So then I started doing that, trying to build a 1 through 9 set, and I actually reached out to Gem Min Pokemon Zach because he had a PSA 8 copy listed on eBay,
Hmm.
and so we got to talking about that. He told me that he had 4 or 5 of these cards PSA graded, and so I asked him how much he'd be looking to get for all 5 of them. He gave me a price. I think it was maybe around $2,000 at the time.
Mm.
There were 2 8s and then a few lower grades, and so I said, "Yeah, I'll grab those from you." So I purchased those, and then it's kind of just snowballed into basically purchasing every copy that I can get my hands on at this point.
And you actually have now a sealed one, right? From the theme
Yeah,
deck, because that's where we is that where we assume that they come from? Is the theme decks?
yeah. I think it's pretty safe to say they come from the theme decks at this point. I actually purchased that just a couple weeks ago for 7,500, which I was so happy to finally be able to purchase.
Yeah, I mean,
That's one that I've seen. I know Rusty TCA Gaming, he has one. I've been trying to purchase his forever, and it's never worked out. So I finally got my own copy.
good luck. Yeah, good luck getting that second one. Um, do we know if it comes from the gold strip or not?
So I originally thought it came from the Gold Strip. Um, we don't know where Rusty's copy came from because the deck was actually opened. Not like the outside packaging. The plastic wrap was actually opened.
Right.
Um, but with mine, the seller actually just cut a little slit to open the box,
Hmm.
but it still has that original wrapping on it, and it's actually it's not the gold strip, but it's not the normal one. It's like a booster box wrapping type of thing where it's got the heat seal around
Mm.
3 of the edges.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting information. um,
Oh yeah.
gotta keep an eye out for that. So, do you have any other unique error cards that you collect in hordes like that?
That's the only one, right? I don't have I have one other error card, the stage error war turtle from the
Yeah.
base set,
Uh-huh.
and Zach actually included that one for free. It's a PSA 9 card. He included that one for free within my no damage purchase.
Wow.
Uh, I have that one. And that's about it for error cards for me.
Okay. Um, so one other unique thing that I want to ask you about, because I think it's my favorite item that you own, and it's great that you own it, because if I had it, I'd open it in a second. But you have a jungle pack, right? That is
Oh,
pretty thick. um, talk about that one, because that's a very unique item that I love.
That one's real cool. I got into collecting art sets of booster packs,
Hmm.
and one of the jungle pack that I have, it's like a double stuffed jungle pack. So
Yeah.
it's like two packs in one.
Hmm.
And I was browsing eBay one night and I randomly stumbled upon that eBay auction. And I just think to myself, oh, this is real cool.
Hmm.
So I ended up bidding on that, and I won it for, it was around $400. I won it for.
Yeah, I think
This
so.
is a couple of years ago, and at the time, I was actually thinking of opening it on my own channel or sending it off to Rusty at TCG Gaming for him to open it, just because I'm real curious to see what's inside there.
Hmm.
But I ended up being smart about it and just kind of setting it aside in my.
Gosh.
But I was actually thinking about opening that when I first.
I gotta see it. I mean, between that one and the like the prototype jungle that blister that Rusty sold, like I want to know what's inside these things so bad. It's got to be something crazy. I mean, I remember on E4 there was a couple years ago someone had a thicker jungle pack, nothing like yours, and they opened it. It had like an extra Goldeen in it or something. We were like, oh, it's got to have double hollow. It's got to be like something crazy, but it was just an extra common card. Um,
Exactly, exactly.
so I'm sure we'd all be let down, but the curiosity is very very interesting to me, and I want to open it.
No, that one would be a fun one to open for sure.
Hmm. Maybe one day. Um, so what are you doing now? I mean, like you said, you're on the boat, on the cargo ship, months out of the year at a time. You're home now. Got to spend the holidays at home. What's the plan now? Now that, like you said, Pokemon is blown up. Unfortunately, you kind of missed out on that October opportunity this year, to sell. But we're still at a point where it's like well above what it was in earlier this year or earlier 2020. So what's your plan now?
So, just kind of right now, I'm just kind of getting everything back up and running with my eBay store, getting everything organized and all that. But this past year and a half, I've gotten to a point where I think I have enough inventory and I make enough sales every month that I can start thinking about going making this something more full time. So I've been thinking about this for about a year now, and this past trip that I was on was real rough, just because I was on the ship when this really explosion in the market happened.
Hmm.
And so I was just constantly thinking about Pokemon and my eBay business and all that stuff while I was away working, which made the trip like drag on at some points. It was real long. But
Hmm.
so I got back home and I've been starting to think about seriously trying to go full time. And I think that's what I'm gonna try and do. I told them, the people on my ship, that I wasn't gonna be coming back.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna try and go full time with the Pokemon business to see if it works, because I feel like it now is a good time where I really don't have a family or any real big responsibilities like that.
Hmm.
Uh, Whereas later on in life, I might have a family and kids that rely on me. So I think now is the best time to at least give it a shot. And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, at least I know it's not something that I can do full time.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome, dude. Congrats.
I'm good for that. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I mean, I did that. I took that leap in September. I've been doing it for 3 months now. You know, I honestly, like, I was probably not planned out to a point to do it, but I thankfully like paid off all my debts and everything that, and I, again, like you, I don't have a family right now or any large responsibilities. That I was like, hey, let's just take a shot. Let's go for it. So, I've got enough inventory, and although it is a lot of my collection that I built up, I'm okay with selling it and making this my full-time job because I enjoy doing it, enjoy just being around it all the time. So I figured, just why not go for it? Let's see how it goes. I can always go back to a job or go back to school or whatever. Like, that's always going to be there. Um,
Thanks.
Yeah. So it's yeah. I'm curious if you don't mind me asking because you are pretty open about it on your YouTube channel. What are your monthly sales like? What was that number that made you comfortable, I guess, to take that leap?
Well, really seeing at the beginning of 2020, the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, was really the point where I started thinking about this and saying, "Hey, I'm making almost as much on eBay as I am working on this cargo ship, and I enjoy eBay a lot more.
Mhm.
As much as working out at sea is enjoyable, but so my sales for the end of 2019 and beginning of 2020, they were all between 15,000, 20,000, 25,000. I think May of 2020 was like 30,000.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, those types of sales. If I can keep that going every month, this is definitely something that I can do full time.
Okay.
Um, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Because I was yeah. That's just kind of the same thing that I looked at was I was looking at my Excel sheet and where I keep track of everything. And I was like, hold on a sec. I just made more money. Like it was in September. I was like, wow, I just made more money already than I would if I was just doing my 9 to 5 from Pokemon. So I was like, all right, it's time to do this. But I mean, I knew like, all right, I'm gonna throw away my health insurance, throwing away this great salary, and cutting my, basically cut my pay in half now because it was like they were matching up perfectly. But to me, it was I was just dreading my job, so it was just time to like go for it. And yeah, I'm very happy I did. And I'm very happy that I'm trying it. And I don't know where it's gonna end up. I could or I could just fall apart next month and, and want to go back and get a job, a regular job again. But
Exactly.
it's a lot of fun. So I'm enjoying it. I'm glad that you're doing it. I'm seeing a lot of other people do it. Um,
It's crazy how many people are trying this out at this point, seeing with the market the way it is now.
mhm. And yeah, thankfully we've been able to build up a big enough inventory. My inventory of what I'm selling is around like the $300,000 mark. Um,
Mhm.
so that's what I'm working with, and
Yeah.
it's I constantly try to keep that building and building and building. What's your inventory that you're working with like? If you're open about it, you don't need to share all of it, but
Oh, honestly, right now I have 1,600 items on eBay. At $100,000 like retail value,
Mhm.
but I'd have so much other stuff that I honestly couldn't tell you.
Oh
Like
wow.
these two boxes right here, are all mint condition unlimited base set cards. The
Mhm.
two boxes above that are full of mint condition shadowless cards.
Wow.
So a lot of stuff is going to be submitted into PSA for grading.
Mhm.
But honestly, I have no idea. I could
Well, that's
gone through and updated my Excel spreadsheet for my collection. I couldn't even tell you what my collection's worth right now.
oh wow. Yeah. Well, see, that's good. You got that separated pretty well.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
um, yeah. I mean, that's the so well. That's the one thing that you've done right to build your eBay business is buy and sell collections and singles and stuff. Now, are you
Mhm.
worried at all about the turnaround times with PSA, or are you comfortable with the inventory that I guess you do have and waiting for all those shadowless cards to come back or whatever you send off to get graded?
Yeah. So my my ultimate goal is I figure right now I have enough just kind of single card inventory
Hmm.
to make that last for a good while. And
Hmm.
then my ultimate goal is to get more into the higher end stuff, so selling more PSA graded cards, sealed products, stuff like that. But for now, the turnaround times are awful, but it doesn't affect me too much. I would like to get my cards back at some point, but I've like 15 graded cards on eBay right now, and that's really all I have for right now. But
Okay. Are you are you planning out like a staggered PSA submission? Are you just gonna send it all in one swoop? What do you have a strategy for that?
no, so I got to get better at that. So I used to kind of do a big submission, 500 to 1,000 cards,
Hmm.
and then get those cards back, start selling those. When I got real low, I'd send off another submission.
Hmm.
But I definitely have to get better at that, and I'm hoping to do like monthly submissions of 500 cards. Just send off 500 cards every month,
Yeah.
so that way, once PSA eventually does start catching up to everything, I can have like a consistent inventory
Yeah.
coming in. selling stuff. So hopefully that'll work out. And then I'm really excited for CGC.
Oh,
Can't
really?
wait to pitch to them. I like them a lot.
Cool. Me too. Yeah. You know, I think they're doing a really great job. I just love that there's more competition, more serious competition now in the graded market because it allows so many more options for people. I've been using them heavily. Uh, in comparison, I mean, I don't send too many cards to get graded. You know,
Hmm.
I probably sent off 1,000, maybe 1,500, like all of 2009 or 2020.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm sure that's a lot most people, but you know, in comparison to who we talk to and who we would know, like they're sending that much off in a month or even a week sometimes. So, uh, it's yeah, I'm happy to have other options because I enjoy all three companies and I like to send different cards to different companies. Like I've been sending my
Yeah.
trophy cards to Beckett and
Yep.
I
Yep.
love it. You know, I think their cases just like fit trophy cards better for whatever psychological reason because they're thicker, stronger, sturdier. You get the
Yeah. Exactly.
subgrades. Like for me, like PSA is perfect for set cards. Beckett's
Yep.
great for the high end cards. CGC's great for modern and just like kind of one off unique cards. So it's fun to like go through things and figure out where do I want to send what. And to me, I think that's the future of these grading companies. Everyone is battling like, oh, PSA is always going to be number one. CGC is always going to be number one. Beckett's black labels, they're going to be the best, right?
Yep.
I like the idea of specific cards going to specific places, but
Exactly. That's what I plan on doing. I don't think CGC will ever get big with like the set cards because I think that's always going to be a PSA 10, 9, whatever set.
yeah.
But for modern, I think CGC is going to be the way to go. So that's what I plan on doing. I'm going to be getting bunch of Champions Path and Hidden Fates ETBs in.
Hmm.
Should be here tomorrow actually, and I
Sweet.
plan on opening those packs and sending all the good cards to CGC. So I plan on using CGC for all my modern stuff.
Okay. Yeah, that I think that seems to be a pretty consistent strategy by most people. So since you're going to be taking this full time, are you planning on getting into the modern market as well? Like, I mean, it seems like you're buying Hidden Fates and Champions Path, but are you going to be buying all the new set releases that come out and do that, or what's your idea there?
Yeah, so I semi recently got into selling modern. I started off with evolutions. I signed up for a distributor and was able
Okay.
to get like purchased like a case of evolutions
Mhm.
at the time, just to kind of test it out and see what it was like. And I kind of quickly gave up on it because I was opening the boxes, opening the packs, and trying to sell the individual cards, and I came close to it working, but it just wasn't worthwhile for me at the time. But
Mhm.
then I found out through Rusty's Patreon, I found out that you could sell cards on Troll and Toad. It's basically like fulfilled by Amazon, where you mail them the cards, they sell them for you, and they take a cut. And when I found out about that, because what I was doing was I was breaking even with the code cards and then all the hits from the packs. That was pretty much break even for me.
Okay.
But all the bulk, I really didn't know what to do with all the bulk. So when I found out about the Troll and Toad thing, basically I send a good portion of the bulk to Troll and Toad to sell individually. The remainder I sell off just in bulk lots, and then all the hits and stuff I'm going to be sending to CGC to get graded, and then the code cards I'll just sell to whoever wants to buy those
Mhm.
whenever they release.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
But
Um,
yeah, I think modern will be it won't be something that I can make a ton of money off of, but it'll be a nice little secondary source of income for me.
right. Especially once you figure out the best way to, you know, make that efficient. Does Troll and Toad accept anybody though to send their cards off?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, no, anyone can join. Right now with Pokemon being so popular, there is a huge backlog because basically what it's like a PSA submission form that you fill out with
Hmm.
the card that you're submitting, how many you're submitting of that card, and the price point you want. And once Troll and Toad receives that, they go through everything and then they list it on their website. So right now it's been taking me about a month, 2 months for them to actually process my order and put it onto their website.
Okay.
It's shocking to see how many cards actually sell through Troll and Toad.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
interesting. So you're sending off a bunch of commons, uncommons, rares, and you're putting what, like 5 cent price points, 10 cent price points, 15 cent price points, or whatever, and or did
So the minimum price point for at least like the lowest price point on Troll and Toad for commons and uncommons is around 20 cents,
oh,
and
okay.
that's because Troll and Toad takes 50% of that
Hmm.
on low value items. I think it's under like $2 or under $1. They'll take 50%.
Okay.
So you're really only getting 10 cents a card
Hmm.
on that stuff, but still a lot better than selling it in bulk.
Right.
3.5 cents a piece for them.
Hmm. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely a patient person's game.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I could see that still being quite the hurdle for a lot of people to cross. Um,
Yeah.
like for me, I've got cases of bulk that have just been sitting here, and like even listening to you and knowing that that's the better decision to do, I don't think I have the patience to do that.
Yeah.
So,
Gents.
yeah, yeah. Um, but so so you're gonna kind of do a little bit of everything, which I think you should. I think everybody that does this Pokemon business thing should is try to gather as many avenues of income as they can. I know we
Yep.
all have our special niches. Like mine is the bigger cards, the trophy cards right now that I'm flipping. Um, people like Squeaks, who I have on my other show. He's focused on modern stuff and knows that extremely well. Um,
Yeah.
so, are you are you ready for the idea of not being able to collect, or do you think you'll still be able to collect while you're doing this?
I definitely won't be able to collect as much.
Okay.
Uh, but I'm okay with that because really the only collections that I still have going, I do modern booster packs, like an art set of each, so I'll be able to continue that one.
Hmm.
And then the only other one that I want to continue with is the no damage Ninetails. That'll probably get a little bit tougher, not actually having a full time job,
Right.
but I think I'll be okay with passing on a few of those here and there.
Hmm.
Aside from that, I really haven't been buying too much for my own collection.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, my theme deck display case collection is pretty much complete to the point where I don't think I'll be able to find those missing three. I'm missing or missing two. I'm missing Legendary Collection and Skyridge, but I
Mm.
don't think I'll be able to afford those at this point anyway. So
Hmm. Okay.
I'm okay with single decks now.
I actually, uh, I think I know someone that has some of the theme deck cases that will be selling soon. I don't know if Skyridge and Legendary are one of them, but I'll keep you in mind if it does pop up.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so uh, yeah, because that's been my biggest struggle is I haven't been able to collect, and like I'm selling off pieces that I thought I would have in my collection for a while. Like I'm selling my trophy Kangaskhan, and some other pieces that I would have kind of planned on holding on to longer term, but
Yeah,
they're at a price point that would do so much for my business and myself right now that it just makes sense to sell. Um,
exactly.
so that's the struggle that I'm having is parting with some of those, or uh, even like seeing things that I really want and knowing that if I buy them, I'll probably have to sell them. So, um, yeah, that's my biggest struggle. And I mean, like this stuff back here, Dragon Ball Z, I tell myself I'm buying it for a collection, but know that I'll have to sell it if I have to sell it. So,
Yeah.
it's a real big struggle.
No, it definitely is. I don't mind it too much because I do like just buying big collections and going through everything, and
Hmm.
then I enjoy that whole selling process.
Hmm.
Whereas I do really enjoy collecting, but once I actually purchase it and put it away in my collection, I really don't look at that stuff too often. I'll take it
Hmm.
out here and there, but once it's in my collection, I really just kind of sits there. I never really look at it. So
Okay. Yeah, I feel like a lot of us are getting that feeling more and more and more, um, as the prices keep going up. So, so many people are cashing out their nines and tens to move to binder sets,
yeah,
which,
exactly.
it's just a smart move. I think it's great. Sure, Pokemon's going to do very well moving forward for the next however many years, but um, for the majority of us, we're not, rich CEO moguls that can afford to collect collect this stuff. So, um,
Exactly.
yeah, it's really interesting to see where the market's headed, and yeah, 2021 is going to be, I think, very strong all
Oh
around. Yeah,
yeah.
the more like honestly, every hour by the day, the more I think about it, the stronger 2021 is going to be. But the further we keep going up, scarier it gets for how far we're gonna go down. If that ever happens, I don't even know. But
Yeah. No, I think 2021 is going to be an exciting year with
yeah,
the Shining Fates in February, and then this whatever they're going to be doing for the 25th anniversary.
hmm
I think it's going to be real exciting. I can't wait for it.
yeah. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get some of that 25th anniversary set, especially if it ends up being Evolutions 2.0.
Yeah,
Uh,
no kidding.
that's gonna be fun. I can't imagine, like everyone keeps saying it's gonna be Neo Genesis or reprint or whatever, but I mean, if it
I
is,
hope it is one of the Neos, or
yeah,
just in a combined of all four Neos. That'd be sick.
yeah. Or what if they bring back the legendary collection hollow pattern, the reverse hollows?
I would love that.
Legendary Collection Part 2. That that would be insane.
No,
Yeah,
that'd be that.
that's what I want now. I want a legendary collection of the Neo sets. That's what I want.
There we go. I like it.
All right. So, are you gonna have like you mentioned you moved out of Pokemon into video games pretty quick as a kid. Do you have any interest at all in buying, selling, collecting, grading video games?
I've never gotten into that myself. No, I'm just strictly with the Pokemon, and then I'll eventually branch out into doing some coins because I got a ton of my dad's old coin inventory from the shop. So I'll eventually branch out into doing that once I get caught up with all the cards.
Okay.
But for right now, it's just the cards. And then we'll see where we branch off to going forward. I do a lot of like flea markets and yard sales in the summertime.
Okay.
I'm thinking about getting into just kind of reselling stuff like that,
hmm
just stuff that I pick up at flea markets or whatever, and kind of open up a second eBay store where I just sell whatever.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
that'll one point as well, just to kind of add as many revenue streams as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's how I got started on eBay was thrift stores, estate
Hmm.
sales and all that, and just buying and selling anything. My eBay name's selling yesterday. Selling just I would sell just all vintage stuff, clothing, Legos, cards,
Yep.
jewelry, whatever, like anything and everything I could find.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I missed that. That was a lot of fun. I mean, it's winter time now, so I don't like going outside too often, but I see estate sales pop up every now and then. I wish I had more time to go to them because those are so much fun just going through. You never know what you'll find.
Exactly. No, definitely.
But yeah. So, uh, what's like kind of do you have like a end goal with this Pokemon? Now, I mean, do you want? I mean, your collection is just binder sets and no damage Ninetails.
No, so I got the no damage Ninetails. I got all the loose booster packs from first edition base all the way through to current.
Yeah.
I've got the theme deck display cases. Those are kind of my top three collections right there.
Okay.
Then also got PSA 8 first edition base set, PSA 9 Shadowless and Unlimited,
Mhm.
and then a few Japanese cards here and there. The CD promos, the
Mhm.
Poncho Pikachu boxes.
Okay.
Really anything that catches my eye.
Okay.
Into everything.
Yeah, you seem to be quite you seem to be a sealed collector. Are you
Oh
gonna
yeah,
you'll you, you
definitely still more so than the actual cards.
you think you'll ever get the itch to go after all the booster boxes, or is that just
That's way out of my price range.
too far out of reach now? Yeah.
The individual packs, which
Okay.
which even packs are some of because I started off just doing WotC
Mhm.
first edition limited, and then I went into the EX series all the way through to current.
Mhm.
Now I'm getting back into some of the variants within the WotC era.
Oh.
So logo, black triangles. The hardest one for me was it's the black triangle error pack, but it's missing that black triangle, so you can actually see the first edition stamp.
Right.
Those things were impossible to find.
I feel like Rusty used to have them on eBay for a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah. I bought my first. I bought Blastoise and Venusaur off of him. Maybe 2017, something like that, for
Mhm.
$3 a piece. And then I finally found Charizard earlier this year for 1500.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
That seems cheap. I guess it's a
I It was because first edition base was still around 1500 a pack,
mm,
so it was around the same price as that.
okay.
But yeah, looking because I didn't know how rare those were until I saw Ludkin's Collectibles posted an article on those.
Oh yeah.
And they were talking about how they think there's only like 36 of them out there in the world. So I did not know they were that hard to find. But
Just one booster box of them. That's interesting. Yeah, I never
man,
looked into that.
yeah, those things are impossible to find.
Yeah, when I first saw them, I always thought they were fake. And
Mhm.
I was just like, this is dangerous. Like, even if they are real, like these should not be out there because it would just really throw people off. But I mean, I guess for understanding what it is, because there's unlimited cards in there, right? Like there's
Yeah,
not even a chance for Shadowless.
no,
Um, yeah, it just looks like a weird error first edition booster pack. So
yeah, actually, no. All you're paying for is the wrapping.
yeah,
That's it.
that's interesting.
And
Uh,
then I got foreign base, so first edition and unlimited, and
okay,
some of those are real tough to find as well. Looking
uh,
like
Chinese
Korea,
unlimited,
yeah.
Korean, yeah. Um, so is it? Are you going to plan on getting those graded now that PSA has new cases for packs, or are you going to keep the
Now if I
models?
keep them in my little display boxes or whatever.
Okay, you got nice little display boxes.
Too many of them. I'd need more of those graded packs.
Well, I mean, the new cases. I guess I've only seen the front of them where they finally fit the full pack in the case, but I haven't looked at the back because I remember the back of the old cases. They're just like super thick.
Yeah, they had these like gigantic tabs on them.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about, but uh, I guess yeah, I should probably look now and see what those new cases actually look like on the back because that's what I really. I mean, I hated that they folded them, but yeah, those little tabs on the back were ridiculous. It made no sense.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was completely ridiculous. Plus, I'm super OCD with my collection, so if I got into grading packs, it all have to be the same grade. Probably
Oh,
not.
yeah,
I'd never be like having some nines, some eights, some tens.
that would be rough. Um,
That would just rabbit hole.
now, tell me about one of your biggest collection pickups. Because you've again, you just have bought just thousands of cards, basically single cards. Have you ever found anything like crazy in these collections, or uh, what's kind of like? Do you have any cool stories around those buys?
Um, most of like my really cool and exciting buys come from King Pokemon,
Okay.
Gary. I've done I purchased so I started like bulk purchases with him. I started off with just under 50,000 unlimited base set commons and uncommons, which was just an absurd amount. That actually came in. He packaged it all. It came in. There was 12 large flat rate boxes. That whole collection came in, which
Uh-huh.
was awesome and took forever to go through. And then I purchased 5,000 ish Shadowless cards mint condition from him. 10,000 first edition Jungle through Neo Destiny first edition cards through him. I just purchased a ton of the Bandai Series 5 Japanese cards from him,
Okay.
which are like these ones right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah. But aside from him, I purchased. Oh, I did a huge purchase with these storage boxes.
oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was I forget how many. There was a ton of the Team Rocket storage boxes. There
Hmm.
was a base ones, and then there was a few fossil ones. Um, But basically, I was looking on eBay one day and reached out to, I think it was Collector's Catch who had them.
Hmm.
Uh, they were listing like they come in like sealed packs of 12, and so they had a few of those listed. So I reached out to them asking if they had any more, because at the time I was just looking to pick up a few sealed packs to kind of build the boxes and use it as like a display case for, or a display for one of my cases.
Hmm.
Kind of like do a little step system to put all my graded cards on. And so I reached out to them. They told me they had a whole bunch of them, and we ended up making a deal for everything that they had left. Actually, it was a lot more than what even they thought they had. They we were talking, and they said, yeah, we'll be going to our warehouse this weekend. Let me go to the warehouse, see what we have left, and I'll get back to you on Monday. So I said, okay, cool. So they got back to me on Monday, and they said, yeah, we actually have a lot more Team Rocket than we thought. We have 15 cases of Team Rocket boxes, which there's 12 packs of 12 in each case. So there's 144 boxes in each of these cases, and they had something like 15 of those cases. So they said they'd give me a real good deal if I purchased cleared them out of everything. And I
Wow.
said to myself, I don't know if I can purchase that many because I don't. They're not selling that good. But I ended up reaching out to Rusty at TCA Gaming, and we kind of split the Team Rocket boxes. So that was how I was able to purchase all those,
Wow.
and those have done real well.
Yeah. I remember you
I,
bringing those to Worlds. You brought like two of
yep,
them to give away to us,
yeah,
or for
yep,
those that donated to help pay for the room that we rented out.
hmm
Um, yeah, those are really cool. I mean, you actually don't see them too often. I mean, just alone, put together, but especially sealed. Like you don't. See, I guess you have them all. So,
yeah. That's why you don't see them.
so I'm guessing you're still going through that. How many do you have left?
I have 4 cases of Team Rocket left,
Okay.
and that's like 500 boxes.
Yeah.
And then I got one sealed pack of base, which I'm keeping for myself,
Hmm.
and I got one more sealed pack of fossil, which I'm keeping for myself.
Okay.
So I
Cool.
basically have Rocket left.
Yeah, I remember I used to have one of each, except for fossil for some reason. I could never find like a nice minty fossil box. Like
Yeah,
I had the base. I got the Team Rocket from you. Um, there were there jungle ones.
I have not. I've never seen Jungle. No.
Yeah, I don't think there was jungle. And then
Yeah, they
uh,
skip right over Jungle.
I forget what else. I had some EX ones. I don't know. They
Yeah,
just I feel like they randomly put those out. Did they? Was there? What was that?
they kind of just randomly made them for different sets. Because I
Okay.
know we have base fossil Team Rocket. We don't have Jungle that I know of. We don't have base set two.
Hmm.
I don't think there's any more from the
The
WotC era.
yeah. And then there's a few random like EX collector ones,
Yeah,
Deoxys and whatnot. Those are yeah, but those came differently. Those came with actual packs in them. The ones that from the WotC were just boxes. Like they were there's
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that was interesting. But um so I know you also one of your biggest purchases that you've talked about was not well you just mentioned those Japanese cards, but didn't you buy a
yeah.
bunch of was it the Bandai Cardast in 96 or was it 97?
That was another good one. I bought a bunch of the it was I bought a bunch of VS cards. There was about 1,500 VS cards,
Okay.
and also the greenback Thompson cards.
Yeah.
Probably about 1,500 of those as well.
Okay.
Um, I wish I held on to more of those because I really didn't know much about them, and so I ended up just selling them all individually
Hmm.
without getting them graded. I wish I set more of those aside to get graded. With the VS cards, I did send a bunch of those into PSA, which is part of my submission that's been there forever.
Okay.
But with cards, I pretty much sold all those just loose individually,
Mm.
versus trying to get any of those graded.
Yeah, Top Sun blew up out of nowhere. I sent all my
Oh,
VS cards to CGC.
yep.
Uh, I started building a collection of VS series cards.
That's an
Um,
awesome. That's it a lot.
yeah, and like I don't know. I decided to send this to CGC because I wanted to like get the best of the best cards because I had 5 copies of each card,
Yep.
and I was like, well, I'm gonna end up. I don't want. I know this is stupid. But I was like, I don't want 310s. Like, I want the best of the best. So I want to get like pristines of some and like pick out the best subgrades. So I did that for my own selfish reasons, and it probably
Nice.
hurts me financially, but I find it fun. So
Actually, gotta keep some stuff for yourself.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, hopefully that set gets a little bit more awareness because I've got like 20 Moo Moo Milk sitting back here in CGC 95. So
The trainers and the energies from that set are terrible.
yeah,
That's I sold all the character cards, and all I have left now is trainers and energies.
yeah. Um, but
But
for whatever reason, they're pretty expensive. Like just being raw single cards, you see them on Troll and Told for like $10 a piece. So I don't know if they sell, but they're up there.
and that's one of the best deals. Another Gary purchase actually. One of my most recent ones was his first edition base common and uncommon inventory,
Mm.
which he originally posted it on eBay back a couple years ago
Mm-hmm.
for was like 10,000. And at the time I had reached out to him, he said he'd take I think it was like 5,000 for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I just couldn't see spending that much money on him. So I passed on him at that point, and that was like my one biggest regret. I've
Mm.
constantly thought about those cards since. So then I think it was earlier this year, he posted them on Instagram asking 15,000 for everything. And
Uh-huh.
this is it's like 2,200 first edition base set commons and uncommons. There were like 500 mint conditions, so like 9 or 10,
Mm-hmm.
and then the rest were near mint condition to mint condition, so like 8s and 9s.
Okay.
And so he posted that whole collection for 15,000, which I couldn't justify spending that much on all those cards. So we actually ended up working out a deal where I purchased everything that he didn't think was going to get a 9 or a 10. So all
Oh.
the other cards, which were like 1,500 cards,
Mm-hmm.
and at the time of our it was around what the retail value was of these cards loose ungraded. So I thought I'd go through and submit everything and make a couple bucks here and there on those cards. But as it turned out, I received the cards, sent a bunch off to PSA, went to work. 9-ish months later, pricing on those cards has absolutely blown up. So that'll be a real good purchase right there.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's one thing I remember. Yeah, in February, I split up a purchase with Swolpoke. I bought 2 sealed booster boxes, and then he bought a bunch of like raw mint cards. And at the time, it was just like the price point. I made so much more money on the booster boxes, so I didn't want the raw cards. I just gave them to him.
Hmm.
But I ended up selling the boxes, making whatever, a few $1,000s, $4,000 or $5,000, while his cards were stuck at PSA, and then they came back finally, and they were worth like way more. So he ended up doing way better on that. So anybody that got stuck in PSA got lucky.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I know these delays are actually you can view them as a good thing
yeah,
in because of that.
yeah. So what's your goal with your YouTube channel then? Especially if once you figure out kind of your game plan a little bit and you're doing this full time, hopefully you'll have more time to produce some content. Are you going to plan on doing it daily, or what's the idea there?
So I'm just gonna for right now, I'm just gonna plan on doing once a week.
Okay.
That's the plan for now. Just kind of doing a once a week thing. I do want to try and kind of create a new series that I do once every 2 weeks or so, once every month. Just kind of continuing with my sales, how much I'm making.
Hmm.
Uh, I think people really do like those type of videos.
Yeah.
Kind of continue with my selling on eBay types of videos, mixed in with a few collections. So I think that's what people like my channel for. Just to kind of get the tips and tricks of selling on eBay, seeing how much I'm making selling on eBay and stuff like that. So that's YouTube. Then obviously continuing with eBay, continuing with Troll and Toad, and I also want to start. I'm going to start looking into TCG Player, so that way I have 3 avenues to sell modern cards. So I can
Hmm.
be selling them on eBay, Troll and Toad, and TCG Player,
Hmm.
which be a lot of work, but I think it'd be the best route to go.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're gonna, go all in on this, it's best to give yourself the best chances and put in all that work. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
it's stressful, but it's definitely fun. It's definitely worth it, and I wish you the best of luck. And I'm sure you'll find a lot of success with this because you have a great work ethic. So I know
Yeah,
that the uh, the eBay stuff is going to go really well for you, and hopefully for all of us in the Pokemon world. Hopefully this stuff keeps going strong.
let's hope so. I hope
Yeah,
so.
yeah. But I want to thank you for being on the podcast today, man. I appreciate your time. Be sure everyone check out Nick Old School Pokemon on Instagram, on YouTube. Is your eBay link in there? It's in his link tree. Is your
Yeah,
eBay Old School Pokemon as well?
yep, yep.
Yep.
Old school.
Okay. Check them out. And thank you again, man. I'll I'm sure we'll be talking soon.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad to finally be on. I watch your videos all the time, so
Oh,
glad
thank
to.
you. Thank you. All right. Well, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you guys next time.